but we've been promising Steve Kerr on the 49ers, the Warriors starting lineup. I hope, did somebody go into the Kerr thing today and ask you coaching? Did someone do it? I hope the first question. All right, first question. Let's go to Tim Kawakami. Steve, you coaching? I hope somebody did it. I don't know if anybody did it.
It'd be funny if they did.
Anyway, starting lineup, Steve. What is it? Please, break it to me slowly.
Yeah, I mean, we basically have 6 starters. I mean, the way I look at it, and only 5 can go each night. So I haven't decided yet what we're going to do. I want to see training camp. We're going to try different combinations and take a look. Obviously, all 6 guys are going to play a lot of minutes for us. But, if this is going to work, then everybody has to embrace it, regardless of who's starting and who's not. It only works if the whole team buys in, and I know these guys well. I know 5 of them really well, and I'm getting to know Chris. And the one thing I know about all of them is they want to win more than anything. They're an incredibly competitive group, and I'm very confident that we'll figure it out, and the guys will buy in and find a way.
All right, so how do you handicap it now? If Allen was a very big favorite in the idea that Chris is going to start, does that comment make it more likely, less likely, or the same?
I would say it makes it less likely that he is going to start, and I would put it now down to minus 200, so 2-1 odds.
You think that this swung it in my direction a little bit?
Just a little bit.
Just a bit. Slightly.
And I hear what he's saying, and when he says they have 6 starters, the wordsmith, Captain Semantics.
Sounds just like Harbaugh when he did the Colin or Alex.
Totally.
We got 2 starting quarterbacks.
So, Steve, what you're saying is you're going to put 6 guys out there and you're going to take the technical foul straight off the jump.
That's right.
So as to not hurt anyone's feelings. Okay, Steve, you coaching?
Right.
Because that's not coaching.
Take the technical, and then if someone argues that's a second technical, they're thrown out. The other 5 guys start. We'll see whoever it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
And if somebody was going to get thrown out in that, my money's on Draymond. But I look at the guys he's talking about, which is Steph, Clay, Draymond, Wiggins, and Kevon Looney, and then Chris Paul, and I look at all of their careers, and there's only one guy in that 6-man, that sextet, as I get it racy, who has never come off the bench in his career. And you're going to tell me that guy, even though he's the newbie, he's going to be the one to come off the bench? I just don't see it, Mark. So I'm keeping it at minus 200, and I think you're in some trouble.
Well, I don't love here's what I don't love about it. I really thought, if you go back a couple of months, I really firmly thought, and this is why I made the bet, that the Warriors don't make this move until they've spoken directly to Chris and basically said, so, you're coming off the bench. And that's going to be okay, right? Right? I would have thought that, not just for reasons of we all love Kevon Looney around here, but for reasons of I don't know, you don't want Chris Paul, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson with their age and size all on the court at the same time trying to defend the other team's best guards, because I think they're going to get cooked. But these guys know more about hoops than I do, and I don't know exactly what their plan is. So in other words, just the fact that he's we've got 6 starters is already moving the ball in the direction of Chris is going to start. Because remember, if you go back 2 months ago, the whole thought was, well, this is it's like 2 attitudes and who's going to be the alpha. Chris wants to start, but this is the Warriors we're talking about. You can't just come in here. So the fact that the Warriors won't say out loud, yeah, Chris can come off the bench. The fact that they won't say it suggests to me that they also won't do it. So
yes,
I am not feeling good about this at all, and I'm about to play something for you that I think is going to make it worse.
Okay, and before you do that, I do need to issue a correction, and this is always awkward when I have to do that.
Uh-oh.
There's another player.
What did I do?
In that group of 6 who has never come off the bench in the regular season.
I think I know who it is.
Who?
I'm going to guess that ooh.
Right? I was stunned because I just looked it up.
It's either Clay or Andrew.
It's Andrew.
It's Andrew.
He came off the bench in the playoffs this past year. That's the only time he's ever appeared in a game in which he did not start. Yeah. So he is 635 for 635 in the regular year. as a starter. So he and CP3, now it would be Kevon, most assuredly,
you would think,
would be the guy to come off the bench. And Kevon's come off the bench a bunch, but I'm not too worried about what you were saying in terms of, because it's only going to be about 4 minutes. If Kevon comes off the bench after 4 or 5 minutes, he's coming in. So you're going to fall behind 19-0 with that leaky defense.
I was thinking more like 16-4. 16-4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, would it work? Would it not? That's been my point from the beginning. You can't start that small of a lineup. So, hey, Steve, can you start that small of a lineup?
Yeah, we'll look at that for sure in camp and exhibition games and see what that looks like. It's hard to imagine that wouldn't click pretty well, given that you've got a lot of talent and versatility and scoring on the floor. I think that lineup, putting Loon on the floor at the 5, you could do as well, with four smaller guys and Loon at center. But as you know, we've started Loon and Draymond together for years. They're a great combination, probably one of the few 4-5 combinations in the league that is unique like that in terms of more screening than shooting. Most people are throwing 4 shooters out there. We're still throwing 2 bigs out there, and it's worked well, but we've always had the change up of going small. So we're going to look at all that.
All right, Alan, what's your Venmo? It's hard to imagine it not working with all of the talent and scoring that would be on the floor.
Yeah.
Cash me out one time.
I lose. You can hear it. You can hear it. You can hear it in his voice.
But as he was laying that out,
Over.
it's over.
I hear it. You hear
Alexander Steakhouse, here we come.
it. You hear it. Like he's naming Kevon Looney as somebody, right? Can come off the bench. Yes, he's been a great, sort of pairing with Draymond Green, but I could start 4 small guys with Loon. I could do this. I could do that.
That's the part that struck me. I could start 4 small guys with Loon. That to me is Steph, CP3, Clay, Draymond, and Loon. So Wiggins in this scenario would be the odd man out if he started 4 smalls and Loon.
It's funny that you mentioned that Wiggins is like the other guy who's never come off the bench.
Yeah.
But he's also the one of the group, along with Looney, we get that. But the one of the group where if you looked at him and you were like, so Andrew, you're going to come off the bench. And he'd be like, okay.
I do a Wiggins if you want to hear it.
I'd love to hear it.
You ready?
Yeah. That's a really good Wiggins.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's really good.
Thank you.
I didn't know you did
It's a
that.
4. It's a 4 from Grindy.
I never heard you do that.
Yeah, it's. I try not to do it too often because
It's your first one that doesn't sound like some form of Farhan. Like everybody.
It's Tiger.
Exactly. There's Farhan, and then there's nasally Farhan.
Thank you.
Or there's Tiger and there's nasally Tiger. Anyway, whatever it is.
If I pull it off any longer,
that was really good.
The dead air alarm goes off, and then we get into trouble.
I know.
But
I had to jump in just before.
Chris Paul, 12-14 for 12-14 in terms of regular season games. He started them all in the playoffs. 149 for 149. He has never come off the bench.
Yep.
Hey, Chris, you benching? Hell no.
Nope.
So I think that Steve, especially early on, until it's clear that it's not working, Chris Paul gets the benefit of the doubt. Now, if they do, if every game that they start, they're down 16-4, then something's going to have to change.
Doesn't matter. I've already paid for dinner by then.
Yeah, you have.
And by the way, it gets worse. You ready for this one? Because now it's not just like, I might say we got 6 starters. And hard to imagine it not working with Chris being as amazing of a basketball player as he is. Now, oh my gosh, these 2 guys are people. Let me tell you about my best friend.
I really like Chris because he likes phone calls and not texts. So Chris is old school. He wants to talk, and we've had 4 or 5 great conversations this summer. I remember a few years ago pulling him aside after Phoenix beat us in Phoenix, and I told him how much I admired him and his competitiveness and just his basketball intelligence. Obviously, we've had a lot of battles over the years, we did have one game together, the 2015 All-Star game. And I remember him taking over the game in the last 5 minutes and our team won. And that's that guy would be fun to coach. And so I'm thrilled to coach him. He's one of the great competitors I've ever seen. His command of the game, the way he controls the action, his teams tend to get a great shot, possession after possession after possession. And he understands what wins. So I'm really excited to coach Chris, and I know he's really excited to be here.
When it's over, stakes on you.
Kind of want to puke right now, to be honest with you. This Chris Paul Love Fest is so anti-Golden State, and I don't know what the hell has happened to all of you. Honestly, I don't know what happened to all of you. I don't know what happened to the team. I don't know what happened to you and
Steiny for sure.
Fans. I don't know what happened. I don't even know who any of you are anymore.
I signed off on it. Steiny might have had it first. I'm not sure, but when it came up, I was in favor of something instead of just ripping it.
57 seconds of talking about how Chris Paul is the greatest freaking thing that's ever happened to the sport of basketball. I want to puke. And everybody here is just like, everybody just got over it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited for the season. And Chris Paul, and we've got 6 starters. And, what happened to all of you?
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I've already said it. And we'll be over there the next few weeks. I'm not going to, mistreat Chris Paul. Chris is welcome on this show. But I'm not getting rid of history. I'm just not. We've rooted against this guy. And that does not mean that he can't join the team. It does not mean that I'm not open-minded to seeing where this goes. But a Love Fest in September, I'm out. I'm out on the September Love Fest. Oh, this is every time I played him, I've always looked at him longingly and wondered if he could ever be with us.
He's a great competitor.
What is happening?
He's a competitor.
He's a horse.
God.
The opener is 4 weeks from tomorrow, Mark. October 24th.
Do you know that something happens to my entire being now when you use the word opener? I just everything just tightens up. Whole thing just locks up.
Starting at guard, John Brebbia.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
He's a horse.
Whole body just locked up.
I'm sorry for that. Yeah, October 24th. I'm just looking at the Warriors promotional schedule, and I'm a little bit disappointed there isn't a Chris Paul-centric giveaway. There's
How about if they give away Chris Paul?
The first 10,000 fans.
First 10,000 fans, December 8th, come to the game. We're giving you Chris Paul. Don't bring him back. Okay?
I thought you were going to get over this, Mark. You have 4 weeks and a day to get over yourself. These are the Warriors, our Warriors.
I'm over myself.
He's
just
a
not
Warriors
over
now.
Chris Paul.
He's a Warriors, and he's always going to be a Warriors. So you need to enjoy it, embrace it, and when the starting lineup gets announced, and starting at guard in his 29th year from Wake Forest, you know him from insurance commercials, and we used to hate him, but now we love him. 6'3", Chris Paul. CP3.
I'm going to go to the bathroom when that happens. I'll be in line for popcorn looking for Taylor Swift.
Actually, in this team, starting at power forward at 6'3".
Seriously.